fall in infant mortality and the eradication of endemic diseases through successful health schemes has resulted in the overwhelming growth of population, nullifying much of the progress India has made in the last 30 years. Over 2 million social workers, doctors, nurses and midwives work in family planning clinics. 4. In a society where deeply rooted customs are governed by religious sentiment, it is the women who have to accept and have to practice birth control.
Gandhi, one of the greatest emancipators of women, once said, "When you educate a man, you educate an individual. When you educate a woman, you educate the family." The social worker today works for the new programs of adult education and functional literacy in order to educate women of all ages and in all levels of society.
Everyone knows that one of India's biggest problems is lack of sufficient production. Yet, paradoxically, this lack of production exists together with a superabundance of manpower. The main problem, as I see it, is that we have far too many people who are not productive and who are simply written off as unemployable. What organizations like ours are aiming at is to help these unemployable people become truly productive. As you can see, this requires help in all sorts of ways, in deciding what is easy to make, selecting designs, buying materials, and most important of all, insisting on quality. Then there is the problem of sales. The real solution lies in much greater organization and in export promotion. If voluntary efforts could be properly coordinated, I really do believe that we could create a huge new sector of industry, a sector capable not only of making a substantial dent in the poverty of the country, but also of giving a new dignity to our women folk.
There is no sphere of activity today of which women do not form an integral part. Her acceptance of the dual responsibilities of working in her home and at her job makes her an active participant in the pulsating life of the whole community.
India is among the few countries in the world which permits its women to join the civil service as a full-time career. I chose this career because it offers a challenge that no other career does, in the sense that you are brought into close proximity with life as it is lived in our villages. This is particularly true of the first 6 to 10 years of our careers, when we are posted to the districts which are mostly rural. After 5 years, I still retain the fascination I had in the beginning, in the sense that as an officer in the administrative service, I am in a position to do a great deal in solving legal problems in my court or by arbitrating with the parties involved. I have to know how to keep control of law and order in my district, as I am the person in authority over here.
As a district magistrate, the civil servant is the judge, the overall head of the police, the town and village councils. She performs civil marriages. She takes the day-to-day decisions required to carry through the policies of the government. She is an essential cog in the administration that runs the nation.
There are 16,000 qualified doctors in private practice, in the armed forces, in government hospitals and research centers. 72,000 nurses and 76,000 midwives assist them. These professions were the first to be open to women, and they remain the most acceptable today. Many charitable organizations, free clinics and government hospitals depend on the voluntary time and service these women give them. Quite a few doctors have pioneered original research in diverse fields of medicine and surgery.
64% of our science graduates take full-time jobs. They are employed in the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, in the atomic energy and space research establishments. Many work as teachers and professors in universities and as researchers in pharmaceutical concerns. Over 2 million women are employed as workers in the assembly lines of the electronics and pharmaceutical industries, in telephone exchanges, as clerical staff in the public and private sectors. The degree of civilization of a nation is judged by the social and political status of its women.
India is unique in the place it has given its women, in every field. This, I feel, is due to the fact that the mother archetype is very dominant in this country. When the woman comes up to this image, she projects a power that is acceptable by all. This acceptance makes her task easier. The question often asked is, how does a woman establish herself? The answer, with great difficulty. Somewhere lurking in the background is a pushing man. Our family system is very stoic in the gradual freedom it allows its women. When she is recognized as the mother figure, the source from which she can progress or be static is reached. Let's face it, we all have to struggle to get anywhere in life. But nothing can come in the way of growth of the individual if her perspectives are clear.
Women are now top executives running shipping companies, universities, mini steel plants, export houses, advertising agencies, and a variety of other business enterprises.
A canvas is spread on the easel before me. It seems as if the patch of color stuck to the canvas swings like red cloth, and the beast in the man raises its horn, aims to strike, and every street, alley and lane forms the ring, and Spanish passion rages in my Punjabi veins. The myth of Goya, bullfighting till death.
As writers and poets, they voice the Indian woman's loves, joys, and sorrows. As journalists and critics, they've become established enough to mold social attitudes.
Plastic arts were barren of any women until Amrita Shergill emerged as a major artist and won wide acclaim. But that was 40 years ago. Today, women painters and sculptors are no longer an isolated novelty. They have experimented boldly in many directions. They are probing deeply into the aesthetics of contemporary art, and each is asserting her style according to her own perspective. In the performing arts, women have to confine themselves to the very rigid patronage of either the temple or the court. Today, women have asserted themselves individually as musicians, dancers, dramatists, and choreographers, and perform to appreciative audiences here and abroad.
Once, the movie star was frowned upon by Indian society. Nowadays, she gets the adulation, which is a worldwide phenomenon. In times of need or for charity work, her immense popularity is put to use with great success. The clothes she wears, the lifestyle she adopts, are fanatically aped by the youth of today. The heroines she has portrayed and the ideals she has depicted on the screen have molded the social behavior of the average Indian.
Of the 10 million students in high school and college all over India, about 2 million have voluntarily joined the National Cadet Corps. The training they receive is meant to develop leadership potential, to make them disciplined and self-reliant. It's the same for both boys and girls. It provides a forum for integration, where students from every corner of the country, meeting periodically at the training camps, are able to gain understanding and insight into divergent customs and lifestyles.
goddess to be worshipped, not yet the object of common pity, to be brushed aside like a moth with indifference. If you deign to keep me by your side in the path of danger and daring, if you allow me to share the great duties of your life, then you will know my true self. A woman lives in her own time, in the rhythm of her own history, a rhythm which is time